Sam, Elevation Nation. We are back on the sticks. Sam, what's going on, dude?
Well, I think we're going to have a lot of new listeners. We just got back from my favorite week of the year, my most tiring, but my most fulfilling week of the year. We just got back from experience camps, a grief camp, week-long free camp in Michigan. And we made a lot of new friends with counselors from across the country who gave up a week of their lives working with their families to travel to Michigan to be free camp counselors for kids who are experiencing grief and loss. And boy, Parker, I'm feeling elevated. I know we got a lot of those new listeners tuning in for the special experience camp recap episode now, and I'm just glad they're here.
We're glad you're here. I'm glad to be here. It was an exceptional week, a full week. It's crazy to think it goes by like this, you know? We show up at camp on Monday morning last week, and now we're here, and it's a week later. And it's crazy how fast it goes. You look back at each day and you're like, wow, where did the time go? It was so fun.
I think this year was faster than last year. I don't know if
agree.
you feel that. I feel like this year went by in a blink.
A blink. Do you think it's like the regimented scheduling? Is it the fun? Is it being outside, away from your phone maybe, and technology that makes it feel as if like you're so in tune that life goes faster?
Such a good question. I think it's because we're all doing something we truly, truly love in our core, which is helping people, acting like a kid ourselves, and being out in nature. I think it just makes the days all fly by. I also think the hardest part, like with any vacation or anything that you're looking forward to, you have all this lead up. I mean, Parker, we've been thinking about experience camps since last year ended of experience camps and counting down the weeks and months until we got to get back and see all our kids and all our counselors. There's been so much buildup in anticipation that I think just comparatively to that lead up, of course, the week is short. Goes by quick.
Goes by quick. So what we wanted to do today is just debrief the week, debrief how we're feeling, and go almost like day by day. Give for you all who don't know what experience camps is or what life at camp or grief camp looks like. We want to uncover that while also sharing some short stories and some memorable things that happened throughout the week. And I guess let's just start it off, Sam, with like main takeaway from the week. I think for me, last year being my first year at experience camps, also going on the 1-year death anniversary of Philip, my stepdad, it was very heavy, very challenging, very confusing, very anxiety provoking. And I went into the week obviously to be there for the kids as a counselor, but I was really trying to find a community who could help me understand my grief. And that was really the main focus, was trying to figure out and navigate grief for myself while also helping kids navigate it within themselves and having a good time. This year, it felt a little different. My grief has evolved. It doesn't go away. Grief never goes away. It evolves. And this year was really me focused on, hey, like the campers and being a great counselor. And as a result of that, it helped me in so many ways. So that was my main takeaway, is just really showing up, being full 100% for the campers compared to last year.
You know, I have a similar sentiment. Last year I came in, obviously it was something new, something heavy, something scary with a lot of anxiety. And this year it was almost like a reunion, right? Got to be back in a place that I felt so familiar and comfortable, right? With so like Parker, we were walking around. We know camp directors. We know Lake of the Woods staff that work there full time. We know experience camps people that come back, new volunteers. We knew campers that came back. So it really felt like a week-long reunion with people that you care about. And I think one of the hardest things with experience camps is it's very difficult and not really legal or possible or correct to stay in touch with your campers throughout the year, right? They're kids, they go back with their families. Obviously, you're a camp counselor, you're an adult, so you kind of have to just let your kids go. And I remember feeling such a heavy heart after our final campfire last year when so many of my young kids finally opened up and were able to share their feelings, their emotions, what they were going through with the entire camp. And to then have that kind of just be it, the snap of a finger, it's all gone, and they go away and they go back to their homes, and you don't know if they're being treated well, how they're doing, how's school going, what's going on. And so it really just felt like reconnecting with all those kids was so special. And then I met so many new kids this year who I absolutely adore that I know they're going to grow big and tall next year too. And I just can't wait for that.
It's incredible. It's so short, but yet so impactful. So let's walk through day by day, shed light on the experience of experience camp. So we showed up to camp last Monday for staff orientation. And for me, what that is obviously we go through the ins and outs of camp, meet a lot of new people. But I think the big highlight for a day like that is seeing and looking around at all these incredible human beings who are taking a full week out of their life, a full week away from work, a full week away from their families, from their normal life, to say, hey, I am going to help others. And being able to look around 100 plus people and say, these are some pretty freaking amazing people who care about others and are doing this completely volunteer, unpaid, living in a bunk, eating different foods, is certainly rewarding. And right from the get-go, you feel the power of camp even before the kids get there.
It's an impactful day one. We even got to hear from our boy, a huge camp mentor. Our camp dad, Dave Malter, came to speak to the camp about insurance and some risks when working with kids and how to be smart. And so it was so great to see Dave in person. And then we had day two, really day one for the campers. We prepped all morning, made signs, got the bunks all set up, and the buses started to show up. And I'm so glad there was a photographer. I wish they took more pictures. But when our kids from last year stepped off of that bus, first off, we're all singing, we're all dancing. We have signs welcoming all these kids to camp. They sprinted and gave me a hug, and that was probably the best feeling I've ever had in my life, of just feeling reunited with so many kids that had such a profound impact on me and how I see the world, and hopefully they feel the same. And to see them again was just absolutely special. And then we got settled in to the rigmarole of camp. We got them unpacked, we got them in their bunks, and we got them down to the pool for their swim tests. That one's always a tough one for me, Parker, because I'm with the really young kids. I'm with the 10-year-olds. Some of them are great swimmers. Some of them have never swam before. And so that's always hard when they say, can you teach me to swim? And you only have like 20 minutes in the pool, and you're trying your best to get them to pass their swim test so they can go tubing, they can do all this stuff. So I struggled with that with some of my little ones this year. But what about you? How was your first day welcoming your campers in?
Yeah, so I was with 14-year-olds, kids going into freshman year. Big time. Right before some kids literally were skipping their first week of school to be at camp. Or their first week of school is the day after they got home from experience camps. So what was amazing is I was with the same group of campers for the last year, and the first day is anxiety provoking. It brings a lot of fear and like you don't know what's going to happen, but also fun, anticipation. Camp just rolled. Kids roll off. They drop their stuff in the bunks. And I think what's really exciting about the first day is there's a lot of free time for the kids to just play and interact. And in experience camps, this community is really unique in the sense that during that free time, Sam, before that first dinner, the kids just roll and have a great time. They're playing pickleball, they're throwing footballs. But I think for me in particular, I played a game of volleyball. And it's not just the 14-year-olds who are playing. It's a 14-year-old. And then also a new camper who's 8 years old. He walks over and says, hey, can I join? Yeah, sure. Come hang out. Come join. And so we have a volleyball game of, 12 versus 9 of a mix of ages. And that's the beauty of camp. Kids lifting up other kids. Young person hitting a volleyball for the first time. An older camper saying, hey, it's okay that you messed up. Like, try again. Really special off the bat. And in that game that I played, it like reminded me, so good to be back. So great to be back. The night ended with a beautiful opening ceremony campfire and sitting by the lake back in the community was really special. And then right from the get-go, you're into day two. Day two is activities. Get the kids having fun. And Sam, I mean, right from the get-go, we had great weather. I know you were all over the place. We didn't even get to spend a lot of time together, but day 2 was something else. It was really just about getting the kids into the thick of camp and getting them in the water, getting them playing sports, getting them hanging with their bunk mates. And so I don't know if you have any specific takeaways from day 2, but certainly it's all about getting into the thick of camp.
I'm just shocked on day 1 that my kids actually went to bed early and slept and were great all week. Probably the biggest miracle and blessing, because nothing is worse than when you are an adult and very, very tired from dealing with kids all day and they won't go to bed. And that is tough. But my kids were great. They were angels. We actually ended up doing some bedtime stories. And Parker, I improv'd quite possibly my greatest speech of all time. 20-minute long story that I pulled out of nowhere, all about King Sam and his kingdom. Miles gave me some inspiration for this one, but it was a story about grief. He had this ruby that he loved, and it cracked in half in a storm, and he tried to fix it. Instead, a wise man told him, instead of fixing it, turning it into something else, and he made it into a rose holder. And so I made an entire story about that, around grief and how repositioning your mindset can change your perspective. And not only did they learn, I think.
I want to hear the story. We might have to do another episode.
We might have to.
Story. Yeah, that's
they fell asleep so much so that
post to something.
I know, right? They woke up the next morning and one of my kids came up to me and was like, "You didn't finish the story last night." And I was like, "Yes, I did, dude. You fell asleep." So that's a good sign when your story can put the little ones to bed.
That is definitely a good sign. I think day 2 ended with a carnival, Sam, and the carnival is incredible because it brings together girls' camp, boys' camp.
I was skipping over this on purpose, Parker.
Yeah, I figured. And they have a bunch of blow-ups, water slides, snow cone makers, cotton candy, nacho makers, and obviously a dunk tank. I didn't get dunked this year. I don't think you got dunked, but I know you got dunked on by me when I beat you in the obstacle course race. So that was a big highlight of the day. But it was a beautiful evening at the carnival with the sun coming down, the clouds really illuminated by that sunset, and just kids playing. Joy, pure bliss, pure joy. Nobody on their phones. That was a really heartfelt moment for me. It's like I was very present. It's like this is a joy of kids running around laughing and screaming and having a great time in a place that most would think would be really sad. But grief camp isn't all sad. It's actually mostly not sad. It's 95% fun, 5% grief and sadness. And so the carnival is a reminder of that so much. And then went to bed again. The week rolls on. And then we're in the thick of it. We're almost on cruise control. I felt like it was cruise control after that. Kids knew what was up. They knew where they needed to be for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They knew they had activities in the morning. They had pool in the afternoon, grief activities at this point of the day. And that's where you're like, damn, hands off. The kids are here and they're settled in and know what is up.
And then we started something we do week long called College League. In College League, everyone in the camp is split into different teams, all age groups, boys and girls. We had 4 different colleges represented by experience camps this year. The Maine Black Bears, which I was the captain of. I did have a bear suit that I wore.
You did good.
Pretty much the entire week, which was a horrible idea. It is made of fur and very hot, and I was sweating profusely.
You did good. You owned it very well. I think
Thank you, Parker.
And I know it ended up being for good measure. So
for great measure, because we ended up winning. No big deal. So we won College League against the Vermont Catamounts, the Spelman Jaguars, and of course the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And it was just such an incredible experience. Everyone got to participate in different events throughout the week. We kept tally of scores. We did a duck hunt. Hundreds of tiny rubber ducks were hidden throughout camp. Kids were running all over trying to find ducks all week. Did some dodgeball, capture the flag, and then my personal favorite, which hopefully we have some pictures from, we did an entire relay race across the camp with different groups completing different activities, and it ended with me in my bear suit having to thaw a frozen t-shirt and put it on my body first, to which I didn't really thaw it. Parker, I don't know if you saw my strategy, but I essentially just used all my might to rip the t-shirt apart and put it on fully frozen. That was my strategy.
I think it helped that you were wearing the fur suit. Your body was already pretty
hot.
warm. So
Yeah.
you had an advantage, but a fair advantage because you chose to wear that bear suit the entire way through. Yeah, that day ended. It was with a beautiful campfire again. So there's 3 big campfires at experience camps, and each one has their own theme, but that one was really, really heavy, really heartfelt. The power of music, the power of communal singing and joining together really hit home for me. I don't want to get into the details too much of what that campfire was like. If you want to experience it, you got to be there. I can try my best to describe it, but I can't because you have to feel it and be there to experience it. But when 150, 200 people get together and are fully in a moment together, something really special happens and you feel connected to everyone physically, emotionally, and that is very powerful, very freeing. And the rawness of that moment for me, Sam, and that campfire really made me think about the exceptional power of community. Whether
I want to add
with, yeah,
sorry, Parker.
I was just saying, whether you're with an 8-year-old or you're with someone who's much older, everyone's together in that feeling.
I think we had some folks, some clinical staff that are amazing throughout camp and trained, psychologists and of that nature. And one of them said something that I thought was really beautiful, which was being together in community was the first form of medicine for grief. And I think I would like to even extend that further, not just being together in community, but being together in nature, right? As a community. It brings you back to your roots and your DNA. Many of these kids come from, underserved communities in Chicago and Detroit and from very small towns in between. And I don't think they're always exposed to peace and quiet, and certainly not exposed to community of people that understand grief. That's how it was done long, long time ago, right? That's built into our DNA as human beings. And so to strip them away from the phones, from the chaos, from the honking, from maybe their friends and classmates and teachers that don't truly understand the grief, to bring them all together, united by that grief in a place of nature is like truly the earth's medicine, I think, for these kids and for us as well.
Well said. Well said. That was like such a medicine for me in particular. I'm sure for many. I know a lot of tears were shed, and it's an incredible space where you feel safe to be able to cry and get vulnerable as a man too. So I think that night in particular was like, I think, a turning point for the week. And then right back at it, we go to bed, wake up, day 4, more fun. College league, more activities, more clinical stuff. We were blessed with incredible weather all week. Minus orientation where it poured, but I got out on the water, got to wakeboard. I tried wake surfing for the first time. I'm like, JJ, I texted her. I'm like, hey, like one day, whether we have a boat, like you're going to have to learn how to drive because I love this sport, and you're going to have to be the one who drives me because I can't drive myself. Really fun, really cool. Like that brought me back to my childhood roots. The days where I was wakeboarding all the time. And so I haven't done that in a long time. So very, very fun. And then that evening we had the silent disco where like everyone gets headphones and they like play different music and everyone's dancing together. But like, it's funny when you take the headphones off and you like hear everyone just screaming, but there's no music actually being
Felt
played.
like my bar mitzvah all over again, Parker. I don't know. Soulja Boy came on at one point and I was like, I played this at my bar mitzvah.
I was surprised that like Crank That is like such a hit all these years later. I mean, it's like what, 17 years later, and Crank That
made my heart happy.
is still cranking. But I have to say, I got to host the talent show, which was very fun, cool. Back on the mic, on a stage with an audience. But it wasn't me who was the show. It was building up these campers, whether they had funny bits, emotional bits, competitive bits. It was cool. The talent show is always really special to watch because it's like a camper who might not ever have had an audience before. And whether their talent is exceptional or not, for a camper to get in front of over 200 people and feel compelled and supported, whether they mess up or not, is like what camp is all about and what mental fortitude is all about. Getting in front, pushing in front of your fears. And it really is a manifestation, Sam, of what we talk about at the talent show. So it was really, I felt honored to be able to host that.
You did an incredible job. Per usual, you're pretty good with a microphone. Well done. But I'd like to also add, I was not in the talent show, but there was a surprise call of the last act of the talent show. I'm glad that your co-dean here, Sean, told me not to wear my full tuxedo to the talent show because I was going to. I brought it. I had it from a wedding. Might as well wear it. And he was like, you probably shouldn't. Like, it's a little cheesy. I was like, all right, Sean, you're being lame, but okay. I'll just wear my normal clothes. Thank goodness, because they surprised all of us captains of our college league teams with a whipped cream eating contest search. I don't even know what to call it. Plate full of whipped cream, bunch of M&Ms hidden in there. Had to get the M&Ms and spit them into a cup. I did win that. I just would like that for the record.
You did good. You went 100% on college league. It totally paid off. Not only did you win, but you won a lot of the activities too. And then day 5, the last day. It's a heavy day. It's a big day. Everyone's trying to get their last fun out. Their realization that we're all going back to real world. Activities are fun. They had some fun surprises for the campers they brought like a soda maker machine and we got blessed with obviously great weather again. And we had the banquet for dinner, and then it's the final campfire, which we don't obviously want to get into much, but it is the culmination of what camp is all about, in having a space where people truly confront their feelings and their grief. And it's a powerful moment. It's everything that camp is about. And so I think big theme is that experience camps is a special place. And my takeaway last year is the same as is my takeaway this year, is we think that camp is just for children. It's an incredible place for children to explore their fears, their anxieties, their realizations about life. But we were also there with adults, and adults are in a boat where they're learning from the children. We don't learn from children often. Think about that. We learn from other adults. Experience camps is an amazing place where, as an adult, I was able to learn about my own grief, but not only about my grief, but about being a good person from children. And that is why I believe in the power of camp, because whether it's a child or an adult, being in a place where you can be authentic in who you are is how we grow as adults, as how we grow as people. And I'm excited for our next journey and our next chapter in Elevation Nation, because I think we want to be a bridge to helping those who can't be authentic become more authentic. And camp is a place that we love to do that at. I want to say some shout outs. Shout out to my co-counselors, Nora, Dave, Julian. They're all amazing. Spencer, all the people that we interact with, all the counselors that we had great times with, great laughs, great cries. But I want to give a big shout out to my sister Colby, who in her second year became the associate director of the girls' camp. And for those of you who don't know, we lost Philip, our stepdad, 2 years ago, actually to the week of experience camps. And Colby exercised so much mental fortitude this past week, not only in dealing and handling with her own grief on a death anniversary that is very significant to us, but she led an entire camp with grace and organization. And I think I'm just so incredibly proud when she talked at the end at the closing ceremony. She's like, "That's my sister. That's cool. That's Colby." That was really, really powerful to me. And I've never seen her in that light before. And it just made so much sense for her. And I'm very proud of her. And I feel proud to be Colby's brother.
Elevation Nation, back from experience camps, a week that filled up our cups, challenged us mentally, emotionally, even physically, sleeping on those beds. But a week that we will always do. Something so close to our hearts. Until next week and until next year, experience camps. Peace.